How's it going? It is Wednesday night for us, Thursday morning for you guys. We had Bible study a few hours ago. Hopefully you were able to enjoy it. And here I am. I told you guys that I kind of designed everything in a way where I'll be doing more videos than I have been. So, but I'd rather not say it. I'd rather just do it instead of making promises and breaking those promises. My whole thing is to just start putting more content out the way we used to with devotionals and other things. And also not only this channel, but the David Rocha channel, to be able to put more things out there. And so here I am. And today's Bible study, man, was really good because the feedback I got was this type of study is hardly ever done. And it's basically kind of breaking down the timeline of Israel and then when the nation split from the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And I think a lot of people fail to see why that's so important. But it truly is. When you start to put things in a timeline, it helps us to understand not only what was happening then, but really to understand the way God was dealing with the people. I think that's important if we want to learn how God deals with us. And a lot of times when we don't know our history, we tend to repeat that history. And when we repeat history that we don't know, it opens it up for a lot of mistakes that were unnecessary, truly unnecessary. And so in case you don't know what I'm saying is that from the time of King Saul, King David, and Solomon, after Solomon, the nation of Israel split into two. As you know, Israel is 12 tribes, and all the tribes left except Judah, which is where Jerusalem is, where the temple of God was at. And so from that time, after Solomon, the nation was split into two. Why is that important? Because when a nation is split into two, it's more prone to be attacked, more prone to be defeated and conquered. How is that relevant to us? Well, I just got to ask you, does it feel like our nation here is split in two? I don't think anybody would deny that. And if our nation is split in two, what do we learn from history when Israel was split in two, or any nation is split in two? Matter of fact, just the very saying of divide and conquer is something that's a tactic for any, whether it's military, whether it's street gangs, or even within the workplace, is you divide and conquer, and that is real key, and that is real important to know and understand, because if we don't understand that, we're bound to repeat it, and so the way we do our Bible studies, I don't know if you've ever joined our Bible studies or not. I'm sure most of you have if you're watching this, but in case there's some of you that haven't, is we take our time. I don't do topical Bible studies. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but basically I don't choose a topic and say, okay, we're going to study faith today, or we're going to study love, or we're going to study the gifts, or things like that, because what ends up happening is you end up reading a whole bunch of scriptures, kind of cherry picking scriptures, squishing them all together, and then trying to build some kind of belief system. And I don't I have done topical studies here and there, very, very seldom. But for the most part, I like to do expository teaching. Expository teaching is basically you go into a book and you go line by line, scripture by scripture, verse by verse. Because then and only then will you have your church actually learn books of the Bible. And not only learning the books of the Bible, but learning in the context. The how, what, why, when. Because that's important. And with that, so this is why, like, every time I go into a study, I don't say, oh, this is a 4-week study or an 8-part study, or we just let it go until it ends, and so right now we're doing the Bible study on the rise and fall of kings. And matter of fact, it's a study that I did for myself back in Atwater when I was my last year in prison in Atwater. I would make up studies. I would do studies. It would help my time. Like, I did a Bible study with the men every single day. We had Bible study 6 days a week, and then we had service on Sunday. And usually I was the one leading those studies. But then I had my personal study, things that I did for myself, things that I wanted to learn. And one of the studies that I did was the kings of Israel, because I wanted to understand, because if the nation split into two, that means there was different kings in the northern kingdom and different kings in the southern kingdom. And during those kings, there were certain prophets that God rose up. And I never quite understood the timeline of it until I studied the kings and put it in a timeline. I made my own timeline just so I could better understand. So that was back in 2000, let's say 2008, 2009. They're talking 14, 15 years ago. So for the first time since then, I'm revisiting the timelines of the kings. 14 years later, 15 years later now, obviously I know a lot more than I did back then. So it almost feels like a brand new study, and this is important, guys. It's important to choose things to learn, and that's why I don't do topical studies, because honestly, let's be honest. If I say, today we're going to do a study on faith, and we do a 1-hour study on faith, let's be honest, a year down the line, you're not really going to remember it. You're not. That's the truth. Maybe, but not a whole lot of it. But if we take 4 months on doing a study of the kings of Israel, that is less likely to just kind of drift out of your mind. It's something you're going to remember and carry. This is why we do the studies in the way that we do, because we want you to retain it. We want it to be a part of your life. We want it to be a part of your walk. I remember we did I want to say the Gospel of Luke. We took like 6 or 7 months just reading through that, discussing it, talking about it, line by line, verse by verse. And so that's why I think that expository preaching, expository teaching is probably my favorite. There's different ways of preaching. Expository is line by line, then you have like illustrative, like very story-like. Then you have topical, which is you choose the topic and preach about it and cherry pick scriptures and put it together, which sometimes you got to do it like that, not always. But as you can tell, I love telling stories. So I like to mix expository teaching with illustrative. Is meaning I'm going to preach line by line or teach line by line, but bring a story into it and bring it to life. So also excited about the Bible College. It's continuing to grow, guys. If you have not participated in the Bible school that we have, I can't force you, but I could urge you to check it out. If you go to our website at houseofrestchurch.com, you can find more videos about some of the classes and some of the courses. This thing is growing, and it's going to continue to grow. And if there's something that you're interested in, let me know. I did do this. I did have 2 different ways of doing it, because I found out a lot of people just want to learn. Don't necessarily want a degree, don't want certification, don't want Bible credit. College credits. They just want to learn, because it is a lot of work. If you're going toward a degree, I'm going to be honest with you, there's homework, there's midterm tests, there's final tests, final essays. And if that's what you want, then that's what you got to do. You just got to do it. That's what I did. I went through the Bible College and got my associates in biblical studies and then my bachelor's in ministry. But some don't want to do all that. You're busy. You have your marriage. You have your children. You have your job. Your career. You have just life is busy. But you love to learn. So with that, every class I teach, I give both options. The college course way with a lot of work and homework, or I call it the seminar way, is basically learning. Both are in the same exact class, just one has more load, as far as homework and reading than the other. But you get the same books, you get the same class, you get the same video links, you get the same Zoom opportunity, and everything's the same. It's just you don't have the homework. But going back to the kings and the prophets, like I said in a Bible study, I think it's important because I think that United States is making some huge mistakes, and I don't know if it can be turned back at this point. People have chosen sides. People have rejected God. People have embraced God. And it's going beyond repair. I mean, obviously nothing's impossible for God, but I'm not even saying let's study Israel to fix it. I think it's beyond that. I'll be honest with you. I think let's study it so we can know what's coming. And that's just the way I'm feeling. That's the way I think it feels. It's not even about turning it around. It's about just being able to brace yourself for what is coming. And it is what it is, and that's why I believe God is raising up leaders that are not going to tolerate the nonsense, because the people deserve more than a circus clown pastor. And that's just what it is. And I know a lot of you know that, and a lot of you feel it already, and we just got to keep going forward and keep holding on to Christ and keep doing what we're doing and not giving up, and not, honestly, don't even stress on it. Just reach people, because there's nothing you or I can do to stop what is happening. But what we can do is reach more people. Why waste time in trying to figure out if this is a conspiracy or that's a conspiracy, or what does the government know, or what does the government not know, or what's... You're just going to go in circles, and the enemy, that's what the enemy wants. He wants you to go in circles. Who cares? Because what's going to happen is going to happen anyways. But what we can do is reach people. And that's what it comes down to. And... if doing these videos helps in any way, encourages in any way, then that's why I want to do more videos, and it's been an interesting 9 months since we came into this building, and it's been really hard. It has been physically and mentally draining for all of us that are here all the time. So it's been hard to do devotionals every single Monday through Friday. It's been hard to even work on the David Rocha channel. But I think things are balancing out now, where you will have more content now. One of the changes I did is I brought my office in here. So I figure if I'm in here more, it'd be easier to do videos, because it's like everything's here. To where before I was way on the other side of the building, and I know it's not that far away, but in a busy day it is, because here, if I have 20 minutes to spare, I could quickly jump on that table and do a 20-minute video, because everything's here. The lights are on, it's going. So it's gonna happen more, guys. More videos. And another thing that I haven't even talked about lately is those that are members of the channel, monthly supporters of the channel, to give you a lot more of behind the scenes stuff. And I've been really thinking about this for the last few weeks. So like I said, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to do it. So for those that are still members, you're going to start to notice. I'm not sure if you get notifications for members or not. I have no idea. I don't know if it's on each individual person, however you have your settings to get notifications. But yeah, I'm going to continue to do I'm going to start doing those. I have some things in mind to do for those that are monthly supporters and members of our channel. So anyways, guys, I just want to do a short video, say God bless you, and thank you so much for watching this. If you like this content, this type of stuff that we do, and whether it's the sermons or the Bible studies, the devotionals, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notifications. Make sure you hit like, make sure you leave a comment, and share. You do those four things. Those four things: subscribe, like, comment, and share. It helps the algorithm for this channel, and that way more people get exposed from YouTube as a suggested video or as a suggested channel. So anyways, guys, God bless you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.